Hello. Welcome to the 1.5 Spare Time Podcast. My name is Frank, and I'll be sitting here talking to you for a few minutes. As usual, we're in clothes. Granted, you can't see me because there's no need to. I was going to talk about Chanelle Moon, the girl that's singing, performing in slow motion on a fan cam. She's in 50/50. It's a K-pop group. They're on the Attract label. You know, the label that had the drama with the first version of 50/50 where another company or whatever was trying to steal the rights to their hit song. That doesn't matter though. Anyway, anytime a K-pop idol does something stupid, I like to talk about it. So, but Chanelle Moon is very pretty. She's Korean American. She's half white, half Korean. That's always a good mix. This is her K-pop profile. So if anyone wants to go see, you can just go here to look up her stuff. I'm not gonna pretend I know what Chanelle Moon had for breakfast. Okay, I like 50/50 because they had that one hit song, and then every song that I heard them release, I liked, but I did not follow them. So I don't know. You know how some people are like really into a group and they literally know what they have for breakfast. I'm not one of those people. But anyway, so she was doing a live talking to her fans, and I'm not going to play it because it'll probably get copyright. I'm doing this because this is someone else's fan cam. It's not an official fan cam. But anyway, she's doing a live stream. Just show random pictures of her. She was doing a live stream. And so Chanelle, to cut to the chase, someone was talking to her on the live stream, like a viewer, and she said, like free Palestine, free Palestine, whatever it's called. Um, the only problem with this is you you're an idol, and what an idol really is, an investment. Okay, an idol is an investment. So, like this album cover, the company Attract put all this together. Okay, so this isn't cheap. So we need you to attract the most fans as possible. And so, how do you attract fans? You don't get political. Uh, and you read the comments. There's a lot of people going, "Yeah, free Palestine." Yeah, just like on every, like when you go to any article about her saying it, there's people going, "Yeah, free Palestine." But then there's just as many people who were mad at it, or just as many people who are like, why are you talking about this? Or just as many, just, it's very divisive. And so Attract is worth $45 million. And I know that's a lot of money, but that's makes it a very small company compared to the other companies. It's worth $45 million, and it's not a publicly traded company. It has some investors, and so like without the investors, you can't have music. Okay, she can't go to award shows. She can't put out albums. They can't make music videos. Okay, and so the more fans you lose means the less money you make, which means that's how much less time you're gonna have as an idol. And so if I'm a investor, I'm extremely pissed at her. Nothing good nothing good comes out of this. And then you have the people who actually know what's going on in Palestine, like the people who know like real history, not the history that the slanted media wants you to hear. Palestine isn't even a real place. It doesn't exist. Like, it's not a real country. And it's and the problem is people don't want to hear the truth, and we have so many people. Like, we're talking first world problems, okay? So your life is going great, right? You're a big fan of 50-50. Your life is going great. Anything 50-50 says, you love pretty much. You're a blind fan. You know nothing about the world because you're into a K-pop group. So when she says free Palestine, you don't know what that means. You're just like, yeah, whatever she says, because she's hot and I like her. Remember, it's a girl group. The average person who likes a girl group is a adult man who just wants to sleep with her. Okay, we just have to be honest here. Or it's going to be younger girls who want to emulate her. So a lot of the people who are just saying what she says are just sheep. And then you have a wave of media where you have qualified people who are able to talk about the situation without a political slant. And then you have the hardcore people who are on the other side, like the Jewish side, who consider them terrorists because of the groups they allow to stay in their country. So once again, it's just nothing positive comes from you saying a divisive and unfortunately ignorant political statement. Now, what she should have said, well, first of all, she shouldn't even addressed it. But she could have just said, I hope that area finds peace. That way you appeal to everyone and no one can go, I can't believe you picked this side. If you just say I want peace, then I guess that you kind of cover your bases. But I mean, you shouldn't even be addressing it. Idols should not be talking about politics. They shouldn't be talking about any divisive agenda. Because when you think about Chanelle right here, what do you want to think about? Especially if you're the company. You want people to think about her visuals. Like, when you first see her, you want people to think, oh yeah, she's a good singer, she's a good dancer. I want to support her, so I'm gonna buy the group's albums. If the group puts out, a lot of times they put out different versions of albums. So I want to support her, so I'm gonna buy every version of the album. There's lots of people who do that. Like when Blackpink put out 3 versions of the same album, or whatever, 2 versions of the same album, a lot of people bought both versions, even though they're both the same. It's just they come in a different color box. That's very common in K-pop. So if you lose, just to make it simple, you lose, let's say you only had 10 fans and you say free Palestine, so you lose 4 fans. Well, that's a lot of money you just lost. And then all the people, usually, not all, but usually most of the people who are all about the causes don't spend money. Because if you have enough free time in your life, when someone does say free Palestine and you feel vindicated or a sense of joy, you probably don't have a job in the first place. And you probably don't have enough money to buy a K-pop album. So if I'm the CEO of Attract, or one of the investors, I'm getting on her ass and telling her to never say anything about Israel, Palestine, about just anything. stick to music. Like stick to the industry. K-pop is supposed to be entertainment. Entertainment is escapism. So you don't want the current war to be associated with 50-50, because this hurts everyone involved in the group. Like it hurts the whole group. Okay, so like you want to be political, do that when you're not in 50-50 anymore. It blows my mind that these people, and I believe, I don't know how old she is. Let me see how old she is, because I don't know. Because once again, I'm not gonna pretend I know. Okay, so she's 22. 22 is an adult. Okay, and plus she's American. Okay, so she's an adult. She's 22 years old. So the fact that she doesn't have common sense enough to know not to politicize your group makes no sense. Like look what happened. Look what happened to late night talk shows. Like perfect example, Jimmy Kimmel. After Trump became president, Jimmy Kimmel's ratings have been cut in half, because the only thing he does is make fun of Donald Trump. But guess what? Over half the country likes Donald Trump. So what happens when you get political and make fun of basically half of America? Oh, well, you lose half of your ratings. So the same thing is going to happen with 50-50. Hopefully this story dies down. I don't think it's a major story. And I'm saying I don't think it's because my algorithm is filled with K-pop news stories. So I don't think the average person who follows K-pop like I follow K-pop, because, well, I make K-pop videos. So my K-pop feed is probably my algorithm is probably a little more saturated with K-pop. But they need to, I don't know how they would do this, but I'm sure there's something in their contract, or they can alter their contract to make them say, like, you can't talk about politics. And I think going forward, that's going to happen, because I've seen more and more idols say political statements that makes a small percentage of people, whatever, happy or support them, and it makes a larger number of people not. And we have to stop. I mean, I'm talking for the idols. The idols have to stop thinking about themselves and thinking about virtue signaling, and start thinking about, I am a human investment. The company has invested millions of dollars into me. Other people and corporations have invested millions of dollars into the company. I need to do my best to not waste those millions of dollars by saying stupid stuff. People love it when idols act like themselves. And you can be yourself, but you can be yourself without being divisive. I hope she has people in her corner talking to her about this. And from what I've seen, the story has kind of fizzled out, though, because 50-50 isn't that popular, and it's kind of just an echo chamber. So I haven't seen a big K-pop media outlets talk about it. I don't see all K-pop having articles about it. It's really just YouTube channels. But I'm just saying, even on those channels, the comments are, half positive, half negative. So, but we'll see. I'll keep you updated. You guys have a good one. I'll talk to you later. Peace.